Hey Clashes, the #1 German clan, is sharing their defense for the clan capital, and a special shout out goes to Korallenfish, who has built all of the bases today in this video. The bases were used to maximize their raid medals on defense, which is 350. That is like the limit. You cannot get any better than that. And this is the results they have gotten. 37 attacks were the best clans to take down those bases, which is quite crazy. We're going to go through every single district from the bottom to the top. So let's get started. We're starting off with the Goblin Mites. We're always going to take a look at the village first. Then we're going to take a look at what the concept of this base is. And then we're going to take an example attack and see if it works as intended. On this one, the white area was the area where the supermines are not supposed to go. And the red arrows was supposed to the superminer pathing. Because remember, supermines are one of the most annoying attacks to do in the clan capital. You kind of deploy them, forget about them, and that's it. Well, especially those attackers we're going to target today with those bases, because they won't have any fun anymore using that strategy. And I'm sorry for that. I tried to avoid this for many months, but hey, let's just make it a bit tough because of traps like this. Yep, all superminers are gone. And this will happen with every single base if you're not careful. So just deploying your troops won't work anymore against those bases. And for defenses, that's what it took. Like for attacks, that's what it took to take down that first district. Second one, Skeleton's Park. Overall, the similar setup where you try to control the attacker from a certain way. We have again nice pathing with the red arrows right now, where you're trying to like get the superminers from either side. And you try to take them out as quickly as possible with traps. As well, we have the town hall with like a green box surrounded. This is there for two reasons. First off, tanking. The town hall has a lot of hit points. And the second reason is that, well, with that building over there, you cannot increase the deployment area. This is like called deployment area trap, which is really important in clan capital to make sure that with taking down buildings around it, well, you won't get any bigger deployment area, which makes the attacking way harder. Overall, it took them, again, 4 attacks to take down this district. But let's move on to the Golem quarry. Again, all of those bases are following a simple rhythm, or like a simple method, which is try to create this pathing. This time around, this yellow-orange arrow, that's like the superminer pathing. On top of that, we have those red areas as well, which means we have a deployment trap again with a blast bow, and we have a lot of splash damage on the back end to make sure that the graveyard spell is not getting any value sniping back end defenses. On this one, they're trying to go against this base with the heal spell. Something which is not working 100% correct on this base though in this replay is that the superminers are going into the base and not really following the pattern. There is a new link down below in the description where the base builder was adapting a little bit with the base and make sure that this is not working as easily anymore, so get the superminers away from the path. But even with this flaw in the base that the superminers were splitting, it still took 3 attacks and some of the other clans 4 or even more. But let's move on to the Balloon Lagoon. This one is using some unbreakable walls, what you can call that in the clan capital, which are the walls on the far right side. Because all of those ramps and everything are targeting walls where there's buildings behind. But there is no building behind. This means you cannot break this. Like, they're going to keep trying, but you cannot break this. So you have to go from one of 2 areas. From the bottom side or from the right side. Both are working over the water, but every single time you're getting funneled into like a point where there's a lot of traps. And this is really taking down your miners. This one, again, is going somewhat smart. He's trying to trigger as many traps with 2 groups of superminers. So again, the attackers are trying their best with sticking to superminers, are trying to still to somehow approach this in a smart way, which is still not really working because of all of the trap placement and that you cannot really trigger them with those ramps in the beginning. This is the next crucial thing. And this is why it took them 4 attacks to take this base out. Again, I'm always picking the clans for like the defensive replays who are doing the best against the bases, which means they're using the superminers. Using something different will result in even worse attempts and even more defenses for you. This one, again, unbreakable walls on the far right side, surrounded with this purple marker, and then we have again the red arrows where you mean that's the superminer pathing. This guy is really trying. He's trying to get those rams in there and trying to break the wall, but it's just not working. There's no building behind. You cannot break this. This is like a cheat code, so you have to kind of jump over it. That's the only way around it. As well, this base again is using a deployment trap with a town hall. The town hall is located that you have to take it down, otherwise you do not get an increased deployment area, which is really crucial, as I already said, for the clan capital. At this point, he just gave up and just putting all of the super miners in, and this is one of the most fun things to watch ever. Take a look at this and how quick super miners can go down, and it's just so satisfying. First trap, nothing too crazy, and now, there you go, miners are gone. Yep, that is how it should look like. This is how super miner attackers should get punished, right? Well, that took them overall a lot of attacks, 6 in total, even though they use super miners, which is for casual players the best way to play in this game mode, right? Let's move on though to the super dragon, to the dragon cliffs, which is yet again we have this green town hall like surrounded by the green box, which is making things hard for the deployment area increasement. As well, we have the red dots, which are all of the super dragon guard posts, and well, you want to make sure that they're spread out so spells are not getting as much value, as this district is all about the super dragons. One of the best counters to the super dragons though is that, well, just use super miners. Like most of the bases and most of the districts, you can take them with super miners quite easily. This is why all of those bases are so heavily committed to defend this troop. On this one, you're trying to keep the super miners above ground for as long as possible, as soon as they're in the middle of a couple of those super dragon guard posts. Otherwise, you have no chance, because the super miners are going underground quite quickly again, and this means super dragons could not attack. Overall, it took them 4 attacks to clear this village, and that's a quite solid result, I would say. Let's move on though to the Wizard Valley, another district, and this one is really tricky, because overall, let's just take a look at this. First off, we have the super miner pathing again, marked in red. And then we have as well some key things highlighted with the green. But what is even more important is, again, like people are trying to trigger traps with ramps. We have the blue arrows, which would be the ramp pathing. And we have then the blue areas where all of the traps are. You're really trying to make sure that people are not getting your traps for free. That is like such a crucial thing. And for that, you need to know the pathing of those ramps. And otherwise, it's problematic. On this one, no one even attempted the super miners, none of the clans. This was still the best attempt. As I'm saying, I'm showing you the best attacks in most of those examples here to really showcase how those districts are defending versus the better attackers. I mean, there's no point in just like showing people going in with like 2 super dragons, 2 P.E.K.K.A., 2 this, 2 that, like complete weird army compositions. But this one, there was no one else going with super miners, so that was like the best attempt. And that's why it took them overall 4 tries versus the base. Let's move on though to one of my favorites, Barbarian Camp. This thing can be so deadly for the regular player to attack. And the setup is just miserable to attack. Because again, the far right side, you cannot wall break that whatsoever. They're unbreakable walls. Again, we have the miner pathing, the super miner pathing in red. And again, we have the deployment trap for the capital hall. Let's take a look, because this is just so cool. Again, they're trying to approach this smart, right? Like, smart is to use both of the super miner ways, because, well, that's still enough power to get through all of that. And since they know they're stacked traps, they're trying to place shield spells to, like, go through the traps somehow. But all of that is not really working. They're just going down too quickly. They're getting, like, path around, and take a look at that. Even though he has taken down quite a few buildings, the deployment area has not increased because the capital hall is still standing. That is the crucial thing here. And, well, just to show you again, 4 attacks. But as well to show you the other clans have taken more, like 5 attempts, for example. And this is why I don't show you. Like, take a look at those weird army compositions. I feel like I want to show you really the super minor armies. I want to show you the best attacks. That's the purpose. But now we're getting to the nightmare itself. The capital peak. And this, if you're attacking this as a casual, I feel sorry for you. First off, again, a huge power on the far right side is again the unbreakable wall. And then at this point, you're trying to spread out the damage that frost spells are not having too much value. You're again making sure that those ramps cannot trigger any traps. This guy is trying his hardest to somehow make sure that he can break those walls open. But it's not working because they're unbreakable walls, and that is like one of the key mechanics to base building in the clan capital. But he just keep trying. He's like, okay, this next one has to get it open. This next one at this point it's like, okay, whatever. I'm done. Let's just deploy the super miners. And I have not known that super miners can die so fast. Like, take a look. Like, this is just crazy. The rocket artilleries are firing, the blast bow, the crushers, obviously, the town hall, everything is firing, and those super miners are gone within seconds. But I thought it's so funny. Let's just watch the second attack as well on this one, because this was like a speed run. A speed run of taking your super miners out. And that's quick. Take a look at, they're even like all in one spot, and then not anymore because there's more traps. Remember this push trap thingy, this log, is like keeping them above the ground for a couple of more seconds, and they're gone yet again. Yep, overall it took them 5 attacks, which is still pretty solid. I mean, again, they use super miners, so that's like the thing which is so strong. The other obviously have not used super miners, and they took way more attacks, 6 to 7 for example. Again, I only showed you the best. I tried to only show you the best attacks on those districts because that's more like a representative of how good those bases actually are. And with that, we have went through every single district. A huge shout out obviously goes to Sleep Faster, and especially Korallenfish, who has built all of those bases. He's an incredible base builder, and well, I hope you enjoy those bases as long as you are going to use them. If you're a super miner attacker, I really feel sorry for you, because I've decided so far to not upload bases like this for a long time because I did not want to mess with the clan capital too much. But hey, at some point you need some bases for raid medals, right? And that's more raid medals, because you can get up to 350 of those raid medals with every single raid weekend for your defense. And this is how you should get them. All of the base links are down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.